Okay, I'm back. So, um, I'm rocking my 90s look today. I would have my big hoop earrings in, but I left them in the car. So, I'm kind of known for my hoops at my school. Um, Most places that I go, I wear big hoop earrings. I love them. So, yeah, I was recapping from the video from yesterday, and I was looking up at the window because it was windy and super windy, and I have these big trees by my window, or they seem like they're kind of close to my window. And anytime it's like windy or stormy, they're like doing this thing, and it like gives me anxiety. Like I feel like they're gonna like fall on my house. And dealing with a tornado that did come through my backyard back in 2011. And the night before that, a tree did fall from my backyard into the house behind me. Thankfully, nobody was hurt, but it could have easily fell into my bedroom. And so I always think about things like that, and I know I got to get those trees cut down because I can't be in peace with those things. And they're so tall. They're so tall, and they're just a swaying, and it's so pretty to look at, but it is terrifying. So, so yeah. So if you saw me just like looking up, I was like, and my eyes are like huge. I know that, and so it's like all my expressions are right here. And there's no hiding anything. Like nobody can, I can't hide my emotions from anybody. You can look at me and tell if I'm upset or happy or whatever. There's no hiding it. So yeah, so it's like I noticed like how expressive my eyes are, and I was like like my eyes, I'm like they're just too much. I remember this lady, she came, like, I was working at Learner. I don't even know if people even remember that New York and Company or whatever used to be Learner. And it was like Learner New York or something like that. And it was in the mall. It was like the sister store to Lane Bryant. And I was super small then. And so it was definitely for, your sizes like 2 to like 10 maybe, because then Lane Bryant picked up at 12 and, and above. And because it was the same clothes, they were just, different sizes. So the I was in college then, so we were right across. There was like, it was in Cleveland, Tennessee, at Bradley Square Mall. And if you're from Cleveland, you would know what I'm talking about. So it was the only one mall in the town, and it had a Kmart in it. That's how you can imagine what kind of mall this is. Well, so Lerner was here on one side, and then Foot Locker was across the way. You can look into Foot Locker, and then right adjacent to Foot Locker was Lane Bryant. And so the girls in Lane Bryant, they would always give us like mean looks. And so I was like, what is that all about? And the and the guys at Foot Locker were cool, and they would come over like during their lunch breaks to talk to us and stuff. And they were like, y'all, them Lane Bryant girls hate you guys. I'm like, what? Why? We haven't even done anything. I don't even know these girls. I was like, I always see them give us mean looks. He was like, yeah, this one guy, I can't remember his name, but he was hilarious. And he was like, they say those skinny bitches over there, they think that they're all that. And I'm like, how do you even know? Like, they were haters. It was, oh my gosh, it was just unreal. But going back, Learner, it was like where I worked in, and I just remember, just how, I enjoyed working there, and I was always, buying up the clothes and whatnot. And so, and I lost my whole train of thought. Like, why am I even talking about Learner right now? Like, where did that come from? Maybe I'll remember here in a second. Like, how did that even come into play? I don't know. But, because I was like, I feel like I was talking about the hoop earrings, and don't even know from how, I don't even know. So maybe I'll circle back to that. I have no idea. But oh, I remember now. Working at Learner, they were customers. That's what it was. Um, I was talking about my eyes. That's why. And I always wore like contacts and things like that. So I was before the green contacts I'm wearing now, I wore hazel contacts and stuff. And so people would compliment me all the time, and I was like, these are contacts. I just didn't want people to think that it was a lie because it is. And my ex-husband, he thought I had put on my, it was like Black Planet, and I had hit the button for Jamaican, but accidentally hit Brazilian. It was like you were like right next to each other, and so I remember him saying, "Are you Brazilian?" And I was like, "No, I'm Jamaican. I just left it there, like to seem more exotic." And he said, "You little fibber, you." I remember him like writing that. I just thought it was real funny. But yeah. So going back to the story. So the lady comes in, and she's like, "Your eyes." And, most people are like, "They're so pretty, this and that." Not this lady. She said, "Your eyes, they're so big." I was like, "Oh my God, thank you." I was like, "I know." That's what I got him from my dad, so you can thank him for that. So it's oh my God, I'll never forget that. Like, I don't know who that lady was, but she was funny, and she said that she was so serious too. And so I just learned in life to not take yourself seriously because people will humble you so fast. But so yeah, so I realized that if you're watching videos of me and like I start noticing like my eyes are everywhere. So sorry. So trigger warning. My eyes are very active. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about like just the fact that I had to ask my ex to watch the girls today, and it ended up being for no reason or whatever, because the job that I work at, I was supposed to go back to the school. We have our set times to go, and only 3 people can be in a building at the time. So I have to get all my stuff out of my room because I'm not going to be there next year. And so I was like, I'm not going to bring my girls in there, obviously. So I asked their father if he would keep the girls. And so we arranged it, and he told me to bring them, in the evening, at night or whatever, so that I'd have, because if I had to get up early or everything like that, he would just already have them. And plus, he works from home and stuff, and so he has to start by like 8:45, 9 or something like that. So I was like, I might as well just leave him overnight, so we'll have to, interrupt him while he's working. So when I get there, he'd answer his text back, and he'd answer his phone. So I was like, shoot, man, if somebody's over here, it's gonna be bad. I was like, it's just not gonna be good. And so he was asleep apparently, and he had forgot or something, and he was like, you never said. And I'm like, dude, I remember. It's like he always like puts it on me like I don't remember things. It's just that kind of stuff always just made me so angry. I'm like, dude, like you didn't remember. Don't put that on me. So I can already feel like there are things that he does that are triggers for me to still, like, from when we were married. Things I used to like that he did then that even now they still like get under my skin some. To kind of bring that bristle the fur on my, like kind of like, and I have to like tell myself, you're not married to him. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to be mad. You don't have to let it get to you anymore. So I'm just like, oh yeah. So I have to like tell myself that, And so he So yeah, so he'll brush it off and act like it's a joke and stuff like that. And he was like, "You want something to drink? Sure." That's what we do best. We know how to like kick it, right? So the girls are playing, and we get to talking, and I can't remember how we get on the subject about how we ended up getting divorced. And it was a conversation, to be honest with you, it's a conversation I've been wanting to have with him for a long time. We've had it. Okay, I'll say it this way. We started it a couple of times, but we would get mad and we would start fighting. Not like fighting, like, but we would never hear what the other person had to say. It would just be like a never ending conversation that never went anywhere, blaming one another, that kind of thing. So we go outside. He's like, let's talk then. Let's have our drink and let's talk it out. So, and it's like I told him, I was like, I feel like you don't remember the conversation we had. Like the night that we decided that we were going to get divorced. I said, you told me you didn't want to get separation, let's just get divorced. And it was because he felt like I was cheating on him. And I wasn't. And he, misinterpreted a text message to someone, and that was his way of saying, well, I can't go through that, and so I can't go through that again, and all that kind of stuff. And he just had it in his mind that I was involved in something that I wasn't, and that was so much deeper than he thought, and it wasn't. And I just wanted him to know, I said, at this point, it doesn't matter, but it does matter to me, because I need you to know that nothing happened with me and this person. It never did, and it still hasn't. So it's like, he's like, and he'll do this thing where I don't even know it, but that's not it. That's not what it is. Like, I need him to know. And that's what I told him. I was like, I need you to know. I don't care if you care or not, but I need you to know this, because I don't know if you told other people. I don't know how you, in your mind, you have created this scenario that did never exist. So I was like, I just want you to know that, right? And so, and while he was trying to like put that on me, and I was like, you took a picture of a nude female in our house. You forgot about that. And he was like, well, I didn't. You knew about that. No, sir. Do not. No. I said, no, I knew she was going to be taking photos, but no, I never knew that she was going to be naked. And he was like, well, I never seen anything. That's neither here nor there. But I'm just saying, like, you can't be like over here with me and you don't want to take up, you know what I'm saying? Because it's just like, let's not put like you in one light and me in another. You know what I mean? We have to take responsibility for both our actions. And it's like I told him, I just felt like we got to a point where we were fighting a lot. You come in, you want to talk to me, you go on the porch, you're smoking, you have your drink. And so then he's like, well, you wouldn't talk to me when I came in. And so it was like, it would always be like, if I was just giving him like how I felt at the time, he always came back with, well, you were doing the same thing. Are you? And I'm like, and so I'm just like, this is the reason why we can't work. You know what I'm saying? It can't be like, if a person is telling you how they felt, right? You listen to them. You know what I mean? And regardless of if that's what you felt, that was the reality. Okay? So you just accept it and just say, well, that's not what I intended. I was coming in because I felt like you weren't ignoring me, or I felt like, you may not have appreciated me, or you may not, have wanted me anymore. That's all he would have to say. And then I was like, well, that's not what happened. Well, that's not how I wanted you to feel, because I felt like you weren't, you know what I mean? So like, it was always met with, instead of just saying, I didn't know that, or I'm sorry you felt that way. It was, well, you were doing that. Well, you were doing that. And it was just like, like, it's just so frustrating. So I start feeling the prickly, you know what I'm saying? And I just like, I remember just like, I'm just staring off in the stars, you know what I mean, while we're talking. And I'm just like, and I said, like, at the end of the day, none of this even matters because we're not together. I said, but I just wanted you to know how I felt and how you made me feel, you know? And I said, because he was always like, he kept saying, I did the best I could. You know, I loved you. I did the best I could. And like, he just like plays the martyr where he's just like, you know, like he did the best he could and it wasn't enough. And that's not true. Cause it's just like, it's, I put it this way. It wasn't that he was doing the best he could and it wasn't enough. That's just not the case. The case for me is that we just weren't meant to be. Right? You know, we were here, we brought these two beautiful girls in the world, and that's it. You know, there's no use to like crying over spilt milk, you know. And I think all I wanted for him was an apology, because he never apologized. It was just always, you know, well, you did it too, and you did that. And I think the bitterness that I kept feeling in regards to him was because he never apologized. So last night was the first time that he actually apologized for for hurting me and things like that. He didn't mean to. That wasn't his intention. You know. And something like broke inside of me. And I didn't cry or anything like that. It was just like, it was that wall that I had built up of resentment towards him because he hadn't apologized. You know, I've been angry at him for years. And I told him, I said, I held it in, you know what I mean? I shouldn't have. I should have just, like, when I was feeling things, I should have told him. I didn't, you know, because I was like, I wasn't trying to be argumentative. I was just trying to be a good wife. I was just trying to, like, go with the flow, keep the peace, you know? And I just should have told him in the moments, hey, man, this is kind of bothering me. You know what I'm saying? And not make it such a big deal. Just like be matter of fact. You know what I mean? Not putting any emotions or anything behind it. But it's because I would pack the feelings down. And then when I couldn't pack anymore, that's when I would explode. It'd be explode. An eruption is more like it of anger. You know what I mean? And it was really hurt. It was really being hurt and the pain. But it's like pain, it doesn't feel good. You know what I mean? And you have to lash out. You know what I mean? It's like if someone steps on your foot, it hurts, but you punch them or you kick them back or something because it's a reaction. And so it's a defense reaction, you know? And that's basically what I was dealing with. It's just like I'm dealing with a defense mechanism. You hurt me and now I gotta hurt you back. You know? It's not a good way to be. It's not good. That's not what love is, you know? Love shouldn't attack, you know what I mean? That's not what it's supposed to do. And so, we hugged it out. You know what I mean? We hugged it out. And it was like, I felt like a release, you know? And then I started thinking today, I needed that. Because, especially after I looked at it, like, all the stuff I kept saying to people, like, I was saying about these guys and everything, a lot of it was just my fear, for one. You know, fear of making a bad decision again. And then, two, hurt from the past, you know, and with my ex. And I'm like, they're going to treat me like him. You know, he was Romeo in the beginning, and he was saying all the right things. And then, you know, all those different things that you feel to keep the people at bay, to put up the wall because you don't want to be hurt. You know, so you find things wrong with folks because it's like, I'm not going to let them hurt me. I'm not going to let them use me. You know, they have to be after something. Why would they be like that? You know, why would they say that? You know, those are red flags. You know, they could be legitimate. Like, they could be really honest, but you don't know that because you're still hurting, you know? And so today, I've talked about this lady before that I met in a park. she's a preacher, she's a minister, and I didn't know, at the time, do people really look like ministers at the time? But she was just talking to me, like, and she didn't do that thing that preachers do, where they just start preaching at you and being all annoying and obnoxious and stuff, No, she just talked to me. She had a conversation. It was very much to me like what Jesus would be like. You know how like Jesus in the Bible, he was just non-assuming, like people unassuming, sorry. He didn't like come at folks and just be barking at them and all that kind of stuff. Similar to what these so-called Christians are doing right now. Like those people with the signs, they really bug me. Like I just want to like burn those signs. They like the ones that are telling people they're going to hell. Like I just tell them where they're going, really. But because that's not, to me, that's not Christ-like. Christ didn't do that. That's not how he worked. That's not how he operated. And so he was just real cool with it. It was like he befriended people. He just talked to people. His nature just made you want to be near him. Want to be close to him. And that's how people should teach, about Jesus, if they want to talk about Jesus. I don't know. I always imagine him as being a friend. I always imagine him being like your best friend, like someone you can go to and be like, I messed up today. And he's like, I know, I was there. I saw it. Or he's that friend that you're like, you know what I did? Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, but there's no judgment. But either way, it's like you don't want to do bad things. It's like you still want to do what's right. And it's like when I was talking to this lady at the park, it was like she understood me and she understood where I was coming from. And there was no judgment in her, like, at all. And it was just love. Like, it was pure love. And it was like, she was like, God's been waiting for you. She's like, he knows that you've been hurt. And he knows that, you're a little upset with him and stuff. And it's like, it was true, because I felt like I did all the things I was supposed to do as a good Christian girl. I did all those steps. I did everything I was supposed to do. You wait to you're a virgin till you're 30. You wait till your wedding night. And it's like you just expect your whole marriage to be perfect and wonderful and glorious. Like they're taught you. And it's not. You prayed for this person. You prayed all throughout your marriage for God to make things better. And it just doesn't. Because people are people. And people are going to do what they want to do. And I just feel like you can pray all day. But if that person, there's free will. And if that person doesn't want to change and they don't want to be any different, then God's not going to force them. And I don't think people talk about that enough. Sometimes they don't change. Sometimes they do, but sometimes they don't. People are who they are initially. And so, and in that day, I remember crying, like just letting it all out, because she asked me if I forgave myself, and I was like, I don't know. Start crying, And it was the same, and it was like I was, running by this house, and I was so, like, I was so just anxious. Like, I talk about being anxious, and Jesus talks about not being anxious, And, yeah, and so she was like, don't worry about it. It's going to be fine. You're going to get your house. You're going to get that job. And I was back in February, and that same day, I got a call like an hour later. I got home, not even an hour. I would say maybe 30 minutes or so, if that. I got a call from my realtor saying that the people accepted an offer on this house. And I was like, oh, excuse me, what? You know what I mean? It was surreal. And I just told y'all about, last video about the job, like how that worked out, you know. And today, the lady, she called me and she said, God wanted me to call you because you've been feeling lonely. And, you know, and he just wants you to know that he's here. He's there. He wants to talk to you. Um, you know, and so she was talking to me, and when she was talking to me, it was like all the stuff that I've been feeling, she was saying, and I just started crying. And I hate to cry, but she said, you have got to let it out. She said, that pain, you have to release it, because if you don't, you can't receive things. And it's like you holding your hands closed, right? And someone's trying to hand you money or something, and you're just like, you can't receive it. You gotta open your hands. So you gotta release. You gotta let go of something in order to receive something. So it's like, I just cried and cried and cried. And she's like, you hold a lot of stuff in, and you gotta let it out. You gotta let it out. In order to be renewed, you have to be broken. You have to be, you know what I mean? And something, in order for something to be renewed or restored, it has to be old or it has to be broken. You know what I mean? And and renewed means fresh, new again, and I'm just like, oh wow, so yeah, I let go. I let it all go. Like last night was good for me to talk to my ex, and for him to finally apologize. And then she calls me today. It was like everything was like fall into place, and it's just like I know everything's gonna be okay. You know what I mean? It's like I just know it is, and it's like God. Sometimes He has to like bring people in your life to show you that He loves you, and He has to do things to get your attention. And it's funny, I was just talking about, church and all that, and it's like, you don't have to be in a church building. And I just get so upset about people going to church right now when it's really still not really good to be out. Because you shouldn't feel like you have to be in a church building to feel Christ, to feel His love, to feel His presence. He's everywhere. He made the earth. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that building does not contain Him. And so it's just like, for that lady to call me out of the blue and just start telling me things that she didn't know. We hadn't talked since February. I know it's God. And it's like, I can't deny that He exists. I can't deny it. And it's like, but the part that gets me is that He cares about me enough to talk to someone, to call me, to tell me that it's okay and that I'm going to be okay. And it's that He just wants me to talk to Him. So, I don't know, like, if you're out here and you're just like, you're feeling like it's not okay, and you're feeling like you don't know what to do, and you're feeling alone, because I understand it. it's hard going through all of this alone, you know? You know, especially with kids and stuff, and it's just, but you're never alone. You're never alone. You might feel like you're alone, but you're not alone. And you just gotta know that. I had to learn that today. You know, I'm not alone. I might feel lonely, but I'm not alone. And I just gotta know that he's here. And I wasn't planning on like talking about that, but I just felt like I needed to, you know, and that's gonna be okay. Yeah, it's gonna be okay. So, so yeah. And it's even worse when I cry when when it comes to my eyeballs, because it's like my eyes turn super duper red, and I probably look high. I'm not. And that's another reason why I don't like crying, because people are always like, "What's wrong? Are you okay?" And it's like, because I try to hide it, and it's not happening. Because they'll stay red for a long time, because you know. But it's just, it's like my heart is like so happy, and because I've been sad. I've been sad for a while, and I've been trying to hold it like together. And just to hear that today, it meant the world to me. It meant the world to me. And so it's gonna be okay. You know, and then it happens in the right timing. It says divine timing. You know, if you believe in a universe, you don't believe in God, still divine order. The order of the universe and everything has gone in place. You know, there's a full moon right now. You know what I mean? Everything happens in a sequence in time. You know, so just know that it's gonna be okay. And I have to keep telling myself that. I'm not just saying it because I have to tell myself it's gonna be okay. And so, yeah. But yeah. So on that note, who knows what's happening on this love train? The guy that I was talking to online, still talking. Like, he's cool. I like him. You know what I mean? It's a breath of fresh air. So we'll see what happens. We'll see. All right.